If you believe a better world starts from within, you're in the right place. Welcome to Hold the Light. I'm Lori Gunning-Grossman, founder of Hold the Light Collective. This is a special series, a guided exploration of the Freedom Transmissions, a spiritual book about building a strong inner foundation so you can show up more authentically in your life and in the world. Let's begin. The Freedom of Being, pages 172 through 194. In this chapter, we explore the fundamental choice each of us faces. It's whether to align with our true divine nature, or what the text calls our wheat self, or to remain trapped in the illusion of separation, our chaff identity. Here's what we'll be exploring. Our choices about how we connect to ourselves, others, and the divine either lead us towards authentic freedom or keeps us bound in patterns of seeking and wanting. This chapter reveals that true freedom comes not from doing whatever we want, but from being what we truly are, our essence. It teaches us that healing happens through reintegrating lost aspects of self, while learning to trust divine timing and support. We're being asked to look at this deeply because it affects us both individually and as a collective. This is the freedom of being. So why is it important for us to understand this dynamic of freedom versus servitude? Well, because it gives us another opportunity to unstitch from anything that keeps us out of our soul self and tied to our ego identity. When we're caught in the chaff identity or the illusion self, this part of us is biased towards fear, is fixated on getting mine no matter what, craves power and safety in the outer world, rejects connection and co-creation with the divine, stays dissatisfied and disappointed, and lives in want rather than gratitude. When we allow this chaff identity to dominate, it keeps us bound to defining ourselves by outer standards. And this is something that we've talked about in previous chapters. We become vulnerable to what the teaching calls thought bubbles and fear prisons. Our perception gets clouded by defensiveness and absorption of external energies. So this imbalanced ego causes us to feel separate from our own heart and true feelings. We end up at the mercy of fears about rejection, not belonging, and dashed hopes. And it can even blind us to experiencing ourselves as whole. And these are love knots, something that we've talked about in previous chapters. And they create a split within us, leaving us fragmented and susceptible to lower energy absorption. On the other hand, our wheat self, our divine, true spirit self, isn't attached to form identity, and it welcomes change and serves from a place of authentic being. It honors its needs while fulfilling its purpose through its unique essence. So, one thing that this chapter reveals is how trauma can cause aspects of our wheat self to fragment and move into our spirit body until we're ready to reintegrate these pieces. And here's how it's explained. When you experience trauma, it's as if a part of your soul experiences a hernia, like something becomes unstitched. Either the mind couldn't handle it or emotions couldn't process it. So that piece moves into our spirit body, becoming inaccessible and lost in the subconscious. What happens then is we might find ourselves unable to access certain parts of ourselves, like our joy, our child self, our ability to forgive, our capacity for peace, and even specific memories. But here's what Yeshua shares. When we're ready to reintegrate, in these moments, our soul is calling in profound change to help us reclaim these fragmented aspects to restore our experience of wholeness. It means we're being invited to recognize when we're operating from the chaff identity versus our wheat self, to understand that our fragments of self can be reclaimed and reintegrated, to trust the process even when we don't intellectually understand it, to allow space for transformation without sitting in self-pity, and to take time to unstitch from behaviors, addictions, and patterns that come as a byproduct. So here's something that Yeshua is asking us to understand. When we move back into consciousness and wholeness, we might find ourselves no longer interested in certain people, places, or activities that were part of our life before. And this is natural. There's a new weaving of healthy connections that occurs as we create structures aligned with our whole self. We'll notice that each day brings us into deeper connection with our divine self. What we're offered in this chapter is the idea that we are in a time of profound transformation. Some might be experiencing what feels like mental traumas and heart-related wounds. We learn that the traumas revealing themselves now are our soul traumas of a deeper level, beyond mind and even heart. And this means we need support beyond just the human level. We need the divine as well. We learn that this process requires looking at truth. Yeshua is teaching us that our souls are holding us accountable for seeing and accepting truths we may have wished to avoid in the past. Our spirit is creating the path for our emergence through joy. Yeshua tells us, you are being freed to live a soul-based life. Get in the river and let the current take you. The divine is that river. He says that if the water grows too cold and deep, reach for support. It's always there for us. When we're in our fragmented self, the braids of faith, forgiveness, freedom, love, truth, and peace become frayed. These energies become harder to access and to give and to receive. They must be rewoven into the tapestry itself and valued as the most important energies in our life. So the choice before us is clear. Will we stay fragmented and separate, or will we become one streaming consciousness of wheat? And I love this quote found on page 176. It says, even one person streaming, weaving, and delivering that consciousness, that light, can nourish thousands souls with his or her light. The Freedom Transmissions teaches us that what's happening in our world right now is the overwhelming burden of a life within a society of want. So we've been cautioned to leave space and to refine commitments. Our souls, in co-creation with the divine, have been giving us the truth required to make changes. Some are choosing to embrace it. Others are looking away. And we'll learn that this is one of the last times the path will be as easy as it is now. And remember, this was channeled back in 2020. This book and this chapter was channeled back then. So the book says that in years to come, certain things will be decided, certain consequences set in motion. Now, it's not too late to make changes, but it will become more difficult to hide and suppress, we learn. All that's repressed within us will rise, all repressed within Mother Earth as well. And Yeshua shares with us that our path to realization may be the road less traveled, but we're not walking it alone, that this is a time of transcendence that doesn't need to require pain. However, there are certain realities that will come as a result of choices made as a collective. We are led with these words of wisdom. All we need to know is that we will know what we need to know when it's time. The subtle transition to ease the burdens we carry now is essential. So create space for the Sacred Heart and trust that we will draw to those who can guide us or share in the journey. Because even though our path is individual, we may, as it says in the book, find ourselves gravitating towards certain groups to explore new realities, braids, stitches, and possibilities. And that, I quote, uniting in this way will augment your ability to expand the divine chamber of your heart within the heart of the world. And if you're finding yourself here, that basis of community, come unity, is ultimately the one you will feel that you belong to the most. So be open to the divine, to the light, because without it, we can't see clearly and we're subject to our own judgment and the judgment of others. We learn that we each have a unique essence, tapestry, and design, but, quote, not one that confines you to any one way of being. You have the ability to transcend anything, including the desire of others to mold you to their reality and perception. And that the deepest freedom, wonder, and joy comes through belonging to no things and all things. Once that is there, it makes it very easy to explore all possibilities and weave through your creative life force those possibilities into your reality. So, what passion do you feel within you? What is that holy fire within you? We learn that the holy fire is the essence of our being when spirit is ignited. During this time of transformation, we're being asked to strip away whatever we hide behind. True passion requires transparency. Nothing can stay hidden for long. And here's what happens with passion. So, when you're operating from a fragmented, imbalanced ego, passion flows from want and arrogance. It burns out everything around you. It exhausts you without you realizing it. Good intentions can create harm, and it comes from self-absorption. But when you're balanced and whole, passion flows with grace through your spirit. It emanates through balanced channels. You operate from your true essence. There's nothing to hide, and you serve from authenticity. The teaching tells us that it will become increasingly difficult to sustain any passion that doesn't flow from our original essence. And why? Well, because, as Yeshua says, when we experience true passion aligned with spirit, it feels so good we never want to stop. There can no longer be a split self, one thing on the surface and another underneath. Our choices matter now. So let go of old energy, old strings, old behaviors, old stitches that keep you bound, and choose light, flow, and weaving and braiding with the divine. You are meant to be an emissary of light in your own unique way. So step out into the open. We're being called to let our true selves, our wheat selves, shine. Hold the light for yourself and others. Embody your Yeshua self and be brave enough to share it. You might be criticized and some just might not understand it. As we're taught, your path to realization of your Yeshua self may be the road less traveled. So if you can, try to embrace that. It requires humility, courage, integrity, and commitment. Be discerning, but allow for the new to come, even if it arrives in unexpected forms. Through refined openness and deeper trust, our path will become clearer, right? Because this isn't about reaching some distant goal. It's about reclaiming who you've always been. The divine light within you is never dimmed. It waits patiently for recognition, we learn. So as you move forward, invite consciousness into your choices. Stick to discernment. Discernment liberates you from the need to judge and justify, we learn. And when judgment dissolves, we also learn that another liberation is possible, the possibility of forgiveness. And we learn that forgiveness is power because it sets you free, free from belonging to something that is imbalanced and disempowering. As it says in this offering, freedom is not being and doing whatever you want. Freedom is being what you are. That is the freedom of being. As we come to the end of this chapter, I'll leave you with a reading of the Prayer of Transcendence found on page 191. And it's one to recite when you find yourself in moments where you feel the need to surrender something or someone. Here it goes. Prayer of Transcendence. Yeshua, the dissonance I feel in this moment, I am giving over to you. I am deeply sad, Divine Father and friend, in witnessing and experiencing this. Yet I understand that I do not know and am best served and serving and holding the light for, you insert a person or experience there. I agree to first come to peace with it or them before acting. I will not choose the hate and feed the energy of hate. I will hold the light, and if I feel grief or sadness or mourning, I will not reach to victimhood or rage. I will forgive to help lessen the burden. Please help me, Divine Father and Mother, to move the dissonance and anger I feel. Show me the path if I need to engage. Show me how I can channel this into my passion through peace. For I trust you to show me how to act with peace in a way that brings resolution through love instead of dissonance through pain. I trust you to resolve any imbalances inherent to this experience. Show me how I can best serve in this issue I'm passionate about. Through peace, thy will be done. Sancti Pace. Amen. Here's your focus until the next episode. Read or reread The Power of Perception, found in Part 2, The Freedom Transmissions, under Transmission 4, Moving Mountains, pages 162 through 171. In the audiobook, listen to The Power of Perception, found under Transmission 4, Moving Mountains. All links and information are in the show notes. Thanks for listening. Keep holding the light. If this series is resonating with you, I'd love to stay connected. Visit holdthelightcollective.com to sign up for my weekly newsletter, Build the Light. It's where I share good news for the soul, plus my latest events and offerings. All links are in the show notes. And if this podcast has meant something to you, the most generous thing you can do is share it with someone. Hold the Light is produced by me, Lori Gunning-Grossman, with additional producing and sound design by Jonathan Grossman, who also wrote our original theme music. Until next time, keep holding the light.